Welcome to Across the Desk and our new series in partnership with Maddie Dever, the Autistic Rambler. Maddie is a non-binary autistic advocate engaged in political advocacy, a parent of 5, and a very funny person. I think we're going to have a lot to talk about, and we look forward to you joining the conversation. Now let's get to rambling.
All right.
There we go.
Oh,
I will edit that. Oh, Christmas.
Oh, Christmas.
So good morning and welcome to Across the Desk.
As I sigh through the opening.
Oh, good. So welcome to Across the Desk. Today we are Autistic Rambling. And started out with 4 things actually. We've managed to work in a Disney reference, a Wizard of Oz reference, the positives of coffee behaving like some kind of lubricant to our system. And all of this ties to our topic of today, which is, Christmas.
Yes. Today is a day where size matters.
And we got a pun in right away. Well done. Like, I'm kind of impressed. We got the Lion King, we got the Wizard of Oz, we got Kofifi juice.
Exactly.
So what we're jumping into today, and we are gonna keep it brief. If you listen to one of our previous podcasts, Maddie, my lovely Maddie, is a primo example of intersectionality, where autism meets physical disability meets the LGBTQ plus community. You're like a Christmas tree. Aw.
Except my lights are pink, purple, and there's so much glitter.
Right, but how awesome would that tree look? Like, I would be down for that.
So the interesting fact: I hate Christmas trees.
Oh.
I
Okay, sore spot.
I celebrate Hanukkah.
Oh, alone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's December 18th,
it's the holiday season. It doesn't matter. Whatever the holiday is or event, what we're talking about today is going to be, pertinent to that.
It's going to be pertinent to shalom, which means peace. Well, so I have mixed emotions about Christmas trees. And this actually goes back to what we started opening up talking about, which is where we get grounded, right? And where memories are created and how that can...
My bedroom. Oops, sorry.
Dude.
You get grounded?
Oh.
You said where we get grounded.
Yeah, but in the middle of that, I said, and where dreams are made, and then you went in my bedroom. And I was like,
what? Sorry. Okay, so the ears are also a little bit plugged, so I'm gonna have to turn your volume up.
I'm the one getting a hearing aid, not you. Come on. So and I'm not being facetious. I am actually getting a hearing aid. So not making fun of anybody. So what
battery's not included.
It's rechargeable and it's Bluetooth. Woo-hoo. Like, I'm kind of stoked because I love gadgets, and I'm going to ask permission to bling it out because I firmly believe, and we're going to segue. Obviously, we're segueing for just a second. So I'm so tired of people treating disabilities as a dirty word. Mm-hmm. And I was recently on a conference where, and I understood the context after, but in the middle of it did not. The individual leading a panel said, I don't like to use the word disabilities. I like the word superpowers or something idiotic like that. And I was like, oh, hell no. And I had not been diagnosed yet with a permanent hearing loss, right? So I was like, just as an autism mom, I'm like, no. Yeah. Your discomfort does not dictate the language around the situation, dude. And you don't dismiss 9.5 million Canadians living with some form of a disability. So anyway, to get back to our Christmas tree analogy, for some folks this time of year, and I know somebody in my circle for whom Christmas is not a positive experience, between managing expectation and family relationships and whatever, it's just become something that they don't enjoy. And from a personal perspective, I always have 2 Christmases stand out for me. Now, my older brother, I would just like to throw under the bus here. And I'm sure that I threw him under the bus to my mom when she was still on the planet. But just in case she's still listening, because she's sort of circling the globe right now in a dead kind of way. is that my brother was evil in that he's 4 years older than me, knows better, and he's like, let's go find the presents. And I'm like, la, 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 la. Okay, let's do that. And he wasn't even good at it. So like we'd go look, not realizing that my mom, sharp as a tack, is going to immediately notice a disturbance in the force. And I was 7 or 8, and she got me this beautiful doll. I mean, I didn't play with dolls, but it was a beautiful doll. And I like, this is, oh my God, like well over 40 years ago. And I remember opening the doll. And of course, I knew what it was. And my mom and I acted, oh, look at the doll. And my mom turned and looked at me like viper stare. What are you acting all surprised for? You already know what it is. And I was like, oh, and Christopher, this was not a lone operation, I can assure you. My big brother led the charge, on that.
Yeah.
And then the day my house burnt down on Christmas Day, was the other kind of significant, maybe like the first one after my parents split. And my dad just didn't know what to do with us and didn't know what to get us because my mom had always handled it. And he kind of, parent guilt, I still remember sitting there and he keeps handing me presents. I still have the robe. So my dad's been gone 32 years in January, and he got me a Game Boy, and which at the time was like primo tech.
Primo, yes.
Like top line, right? And he got me a red Marks and Spencer's bathrobe, which by the way I still have, and a few. But I remember sitting there going, "What is going on? What are you doing?" But that's how he dealt with it, right? He knew he'd done wrong. He knew he was. So that's for Christmas. That's when he decided he was gonna go a little batshit. I think we forget that everybody has a different experience with Christmas. I had many positive. Like I am grateful for all the hard work my mom put in. We still have the beautiful stockings she made us after the fire. I have one decoration left from before 1986 because our Christmas tree was up. That's where the fire started. All of our decorations that were on the tree were gone. And the rest of the decorations left over were down in the basement, which didn't burn. So I have one left. Nobody touches that decoration. Like nobody, because that's all I got. And then we had, go ahead.
Oh, you guys start.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, I waited for the long pause and was listening, and it's when I was a little kid, I loved Christmas. I really did. I loved the excitement of it. I loved the look on everybody's faces when they opened presents.
Yes.
And I, to this day, I prefer giving than receiving presents.
Whoop, whoop.
I don't care. Like some even years that some people, some of my kids or family members have forgotten me. It's like, I don't forget them. And I love, I give presents either on during Hanukkah or on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is my more special time of the season. Because it's all about things new, things ending, things new. That's sort of I'm always been retrospective. But thinking back to my childhood, like I had really happy memories until my parents split up, and then there were split memories. And we, weirdly enough, like the best part of Christmas, like Christmas Eve, we'd go to my dad's place and we'd order Chinese food and we'd play Monopoly. And my dad and my sister would team up with my dad. At some point, my sister would quit, and then my dad would take over, and the game would be over, or we'd play Risk, and the same thing would happen. That one of the happiest moments with my dad was when I was 35 and I finally beat him.
Beat him at Risk.
33. Made
That's
him
why
at
we
risk.
don't
It's
do
like,
like,
yes.
you
And
know,
then he died a year later. No,
oh,
2 years.
so basically you broke your dad's heart. No, I'm just,
Yeah, I took the risk. Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
dude, there's gonna be a lot of dudes today, I think.
Oh, this is a dude thing. I love what I still love about the holiday season
Yep.
are the Christmas lights. I
Yep.
love. I just get this feeling of wonder when I see what people are doing, and I love now that people are like putting music to the things, and it's all. I love that, and I love Christmas music as long as doesn't get too religiosity. But
Fair.
I just and I like the feeling of it, but I hate the commercialism to it, and
100%
it
agree.
overshadows everything. And so I stay in my lane. I enjoy the things that I like. I don't tell people that they shouldn't enjoy Christmas. I never have. My family has, like, for the last 20 years, it's like, why did you hate Christmas? It's like, I don't like it. You can do it. If I'll come over on Christmas Day for dinner, but and I'll bring something with you, but I don't celebrate it. I really don't. I've removed myself from it, and I'm glad there's opportunities for me to do what I like doing most, which is giving during that period of time.
Yep.
But it's been okay. I and this is going to be more relevant to our topic. But there's always family drama that heightens itself out at holiday gatherings, whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's Easter, whether it's Christmas. Like, it's just everything is so amped up.
Because
And
it brings out the
uh,
booze and the battle guns, right?
oh,
Because everybody kind of gets in their cups a bit. Like my dad and my uncle. So I don't have a lot of family. Just for perspective, I don't have a lot of family in Canada that's blood related to me. I only have my uncle and my cousins.
mhm,
So our choices for Christmas Day were, rather limited. So either they came to us or we went to them for years and years and years. But it seemed as though whenever we went to my uncle's house, there was more booze flowing. And then
mhm.
it got to the point where as teenagers, all the cousins just had this look. And we knew when it was time to leave the table, take our plates, leave the table, let the games begin. And because
Yeah,
we know it was never, as far as I remember, it was combative, but it was brotherly, right? Like it wasn't, as far as I remember, malicious or anything.
mhm.
But like one of the last Christmases we spent with my uncle was the day the fire happened. I was 16. And I remember the OPP coming to the door. And this relates to the booze thing because the OPP comes to the door, tells us what's happened, takes one look at my dad and says, "Sir, are you fit to drive?" And my dad's like, "Nope, I am not." So my brother drove us home. And then, everything kind of went downhill after that. We got back into it, right? But since then, honestly, we have really focused because we've learned from that. I hear you because it
Mhm.
overshadows, right? And it shouldn't be a joke that people fight at Christmas. And it shouldn't be a joke that people get like they feel like it's the time to get nasty and air their spleen.
Yeah.
And as soon as you said commercialism, so when my kids were little, I mean at 2 and 3, right? Like they don't really know, but we began the tradition of going to the toy store and them picking toys to give away.
Mm, okay.
And we always did that first. And I always explained to them. And at the time, I had to use this language just because of their age. I said, Santa can't get to everybody. And we need to make sure that the kids who Santa can't visit, like, have you ever had a sad Christmas? No, our Christmas, right. So not everybody gets that.
Mhm.
But then I moved into St. Nicholas and we got away from Santa. As soon as I wasn't going to ruin all childhood memories, I was like, so Santa is a construct by Coca-Cola meant to get people to buy Coke, like, and whichever form works for you. I said, We are about St. Nicholas, and St. Nicholas began to help the poor and to spread some light and spread some cheer and help folks who are less fortunate. I'm like, so I started moving towards St. Nicholas when they were old enough to get it. We have a St. Nicholas on our tree. We have a St. Nicholas, whatever. So when it came time for them to say, you lied to us about Santa, I was like, no, no. I told you the truth about Santa. And then I went to the computer and I'm like, hey, Google, tell me about St. Nicholas. I'm like, no, no, mommy did not. Oh, my phone is now looking up St. Nicholas.
Stop.
As it is conceived in various
Stop.
cultures and religious traditions.
Okay, Google, stop.
Oops. But we always made donating and helping others part of it. And I wonder where we lost that. Like, wouldn't that really impact somebody's anxiety? Because now you got to find, it's all about the perfect gift and the perfect dinner and the perfect this and the perfect that. And I'm like, life's not perfect.
Oh yeah, the perfect. Oh my God. I remember okay, so our dinners were always amazing growing up. But there was always so much stress. If it was at our house, then it was fear that my mom wouldn't live up to her mom, and that that her mom might find something wrong with it. Because like thinking back, I love both my grandmothers, but I do now see why my mom has some of the personality that she had. Like she ended up being, in the last year of her life, she told me a lot about her teenage years, and she was like a total rebel, total badass, because she just didn't like trying to be perfect anymore because her sister was that, so she didn't need to be.
Well, hey, why not, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I realized that, looking back, just thinking of holiday things, I think this is where I saw it the most with my mom. This need to be as good as her mom, make it as perfect as her mom did. And I'm sure that her mom felt the same way, of making sure it was perfect for her mom. And and I know my sister, when she has it, I see the same thing where she needs to be it perfect. And for me, I don't have that
Me
need to be
either.
perfect, and it's like I'm just figuring this out now as we're talking, which is, thank you for the therapy session here.
My pleasure. Paulette says that to me all the time. She's like, I don't pay you enough for your therapy.
So much of the anxiety that is there is because you're trying to live up to somebody else's expectation.
Hallmark.
And
I blame Hallmark.
Bring your kids, you bring your kids into it. And if your kids are neurodivergent, that just doesn't work. Because I think that's why some it's water off a duck's back, some the extra tension creates more tension, and the kids can't, like, if it's at your house, it's probably not as difficult because kids can step away, they know where their safe spaces are at home. But we have a tendency of dragging our kids to holiday events, many more than just one. And we know that our kids have challenges when we're out in other places, but we've brought them into this, we bring them into this stressful thing at probably the most stressful time in the people's lives that are doing this, where you have other stressful people and other stressful kids, and the tension's there, and you wonder
why they melt down.
Why they melt down, why they have behaviors you don't normally see, or why they're like. But when you bring them out normally, that like you take the extra steps sometimes to, okay, do we have a place for them to go? Do we have all our sensory
bring an
stuff?
activity bag.
But somehow at Christmas time we don't do that, because like we don't and I'm thinking back to myself when my kids were much younger, okay, because this was, I'm as much of a fault for this when I was younger.
So hang on one second, Maddie, hang on. So just to give context for anybody who might be listening to this for the first time, so Maddie is the parent of 5 children, and 4 of them are neurodiverse, I am the parent of 2
Woo!
children.
Okay,
Lots
all
of
of them are
purple.
neurodivergent.
What's
Okay,
that?
just got to correct you.
Okay.
Everybody is neurodiverse. Neurodiversity means that there's neurotypes, a grand diversity of neurotypes.
Yes.
Neurodivergent is what you're meaning to say.
I got told not to use that.
And oh no, you need to use that neurodivergent. ND. That's what Yeah, you don't use neurotypical. Are the people that are where most of a large majority of people's brain types are very very similar.
Yep.
And neurodivergent is those like autism, those who
Yep.
are autistic, those who have ADHD, those who have Tourette's, those who have OCD, and a bunch of that's neurodivergence, and we're all neurodivergent. So all my kids are neurodivergent. Four of them are autistic. This has been my TED Talk.
So I got told not to use neurodivergent. That's been all right. So education, awesome. So
who told you? Was it a neurotypical person that told you that?
Probably. I mean, let's be honest. So I feel more. It's okay. We're gonna segue all over the place today because I know what this resonates with is 2 things. So just to finish my bit, I have 2 kids. I have Thomas and Vanessa. Thomas, diagnosed as autistic at 7, diagnosed as ADHD and dyslexic at 9, and then diagnosed with executive function deficits at 10. Above average intelligence, doing great, completing his second kick at college, both successful. We wanted like an entry point to college, and now we are on the career track for college. I mean, I get teary. I am so proud of him. He has his issues, don't get me wrong. There's that 5% that I just want to strangle him like Bart Simpson. But overall, we are very lucky. And my daughter, same thing. She is a fantastic young lady. And, we have our bumps with her as well. I will never paint her as the angel she likes to think she is. She's not going on top of our tree anytime soon, but
the darkness comes out at night.
Apple tree, can't really judge for that so much. So we are coming at this from not only our experience growing up as ourselves, but in situations where we have neurodivergent kids. And to hop onto what you immediately brought to mind was Thomas already did amazingly well here, did amazingly well with my Uncle Alan, because all of my cousins' kids, so we like family. So I have 2 cousins. They've each gone on to have 2 kids. Each have a boy and a girl. Like we all have boys and girls. It's really weird. Play together. He did amazing. The only thing he did periodically, which you have now made me realize what that was, is he would just go on a wander in the house periodically. And I never thought of it before as him taking a break from the noise and the whatever, because he was always doing so well. So we had to start keeping an eye on that, because they would like find him in my Uncle Alan's bedroom and like maybe places not appropriate for him. But then we went to my mother-in-law's house, where there was nothing for them to do. And she expected them at like 10 and 9 or younger to chit chat like adults.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I was like, what are you doing? Like, this is not about you. And then she would wonder why we were resistant to come over for Christmas. And I'd be like, you do nothing for the kids.
Yeah.
We go there and we sit and watch TV because like you're not taking, like, they're not interested in talking to you. And she was always stressed out to the teeth about it. Anyway, that's a whole nother, but thank you for I totally forgot all about that until you.
Well, this topic is definitely memory triggering for sure.
Yeah.
Like my mom, like, okay, so me as a parent now, and having, I know with my
your brood
oldest, so yeah, my oldest, he was really challenging even at home, but in new environments, like he just like my mom was great with him. My mom was really really great with him. She was with me the day that he was diagnosed, and she fell apart. I thought it was the best day ever because like I had a word to put with it. But she's like locked in all of the all of the growing up, autism being like the worst possible thing.
Yeah.
but she said, I am going to, I don't accept that he has limitations.
Yes.
He's where he is, but I don't accept that. And she was his biggest cheerleader. And that, my, if you want to know where my attitude towards autism comes from, like she was a huge part of that. She could not accept that he wouldn't be able to do things, but she just knew that, where he's at right now wouldn't be where he would be in the future. And he's the one that taught me that, but she's the one that showed me the light with that. And um yeah.
How take
But
that as a
like,
moment, because as you're saying that, my mom, so I own Spirit Cruise Canada. We have a platform to support autism employment service providers. It's called NanoWorks.
oh yeah,
Called NanoWorks for a reason. Now, the NANA stands for Neurodiverse Accessible Platform That Actually Works. But
it stands for that. Oh God, not do bunny ears in my
yeah,
bad
yeah.
hand.
Well, you just made a boo-boo. But my mom, she was interestingly fiercely protective of Thomas, always felt I was too hard on him and what have you. And I finally had to sit her down one day and say, look, if I'm not hard on him now, somebody's going to punch his teeth down his throat later. And he's not going to be able to accomplish everything I know he can. If I don't show him that I believe in him and that I know he's capable and that we do away with this learned helplessness that the school is drilling into him, what's going to, like, he's never going to be able to do everything I know he can do. I know he can live on his own. I know he can get a career. Like, it's going to be bumpy, but I know he can get there. And he
Yeah.
needs to know. And I would explain to him and say, the reason I get mad is because I know you're capable of more. If I didn't care, if I didn't think that you were capable of more or knew better, I wouldn't waste energy getting mad. So when I explained it to her that way, she got it. She would go, I mean, my mom was fierce, fierce. If she would not defend herself or advocate for
Yeah.
herself, but if you came after one of us,
Yep.
she'll
That's
take
my
you
mom.
out.
Mama Bear.
Yeah.
Yep. And she instilled that into me too.
And I same, like,
Yeah.
I will stick up for myself as well. But by and
I
large, if
yeah.
anybody came after you, if anybody came after one of my kids, if anybody comes after anybody that I've, peed on their leg, I'm a coming for you. And she would call Tom
Yeah.
and he would come over to her house and he would help her change her sheets and he would help her take her laundry up and he would help her weed the garden. And she had a hand injury in addition to some mobility issues and some other stuff. I have video of them doing the dishes and Thomas blowing bubbles with like a strainer or something. And my mom just going, make it. And she came over every Christmas morning and the kids knew they could open their stockings. And then we had a big breakfast. And then it was present time.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part of Christmas morning was when my mom started opening up her presents. And I have a video of her, and it was 2 years before she died. And I bought her this fountain pen. She'd been going on and on about this fountain pen, and she wanted a good one. And I happened to find one at Staples that was like expensive, but a good price and whatever. The video I have of that, I don't care what you give me. I don't care what's under the tree for me.
Yeah.
Those moments that I could thank her for everything she did for us, for all the amazing Christmases. She used to hot glue bows on our presents. She, dinners and mince, we're British, so mince pies and flaming pudding and Christmas crackers. And I can tell you, my dad barely lifted a finger. I know she did the heavy lifting on that. And to be able to take Christmas morning, in addition to Mothering Sunday and Mother's Day and whatever, but surprise her with stuff and weird little things. Or I would bake her a Dundee cake, or I would bake her like a weird Christmas cake because she knew that had taken weeks for me to do. And she always showed appreciation. but the giggle that we would get out of her for certain things, or she would, oh, 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 did you see this? I'm like, yes, mom.
Oh
That's a
my
product
gosh.
for you.
I'm just thinking, I think my mom's last Christmas, I think it was a Christmas, it could have been my sister's birthday, but we were at my sister's place and we introduced her to Cards Against Humanity.
You didn't, Maddie.
I mean, we have always had a very earthy, wry sense of humor. Like it's
There's
the devil
earthy, and then
humor.
there's
And
who.
oh, I know, I know. Hey, I don't drink or do drugs.
I play Cards Against Humanity with my
And
mom.
I,
Like,
and I actually haven't played it since my car accident. I have my box keep sitting there. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick aside. One of the biggest challenges that I know. Okay, so I was in a car accident 2.5 years ago. I'm in a wheelchair. It's emergency spinal surgery. My life has completely changed, and I do well when I'm sitting in a chair. Yeah, I'm sitting in a chair. It's a little complicated.
yeah.
And I've been going through this testing to determine whether my injuries is enough to consider it catastrophic. So I've been going through a lot of testing and conversations, and one of the things that people asked me was, what are you like socially? And I
You're
realized, like,
amazing.
what do you do? You go to see people, and I realized no. 99% of the places in this planet I cannot get to. I can't go into people's houses unless they're like
Oh my goodness. Or an apartment.
I, I can't go I can go into apartments, but I can go to my sister's house because she's only got 2 steps and I can handle that with help. And I realized I can't go to people's places. I can't. People have to come to me, which doesn't really happen as much. And so, like, even though I'm connected with people, I have friends online, and I have really good friendships that I've gathered from the internet. And I've met you at least once, but other than that one time, like you and I have a good friendship going. But it's like in my own town, or even in Ottawa, which like 35 minutes, 45 minutes away, depending what type of Ottawa you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't really go to my friends' places. And it just hit me then. And it's
Wow.
like I have lost a lot. It really I'm trying to start doing things socially, trying to meet people in town, but trying to find things that I can do that are with people
That don't
in,
cause pain.
yeah, I mean, there's things for seniors and there's things for kids, but things for adults that are accessible to me is a whole challenge. And it's doubly challenging because of the some of the autistic sensory challenges
Yeah.
have been massively amplified. For example, going to a hockey game. I went to a hockey game last Saturday night. I was trying to take a bus because I was visiting my sister for the first time. I took a train in because I was in where the train stations were. It's like, oh, for like $20, I can go see my sister. And normally it cost me like 60 one way. I'll do it. Yeah, spend
Yeah.
some time with her. And on the way back, I was taking a bus to get me as close to where I could take a taxi to get me back. And there was a 400 series bus, which in Ottawa means, hey, it's something that's going to take you to the Canadian Tire Center. So I looked up what's going on there, and oh, it was a Sens game. It's like, okay, I'm going to treat myself out for my birthday. It's my birthday month. My birthday's next week in December.
Ah,
I'm 10 days before Christmas. That's me. So the whole month's about me, really.
I'm writing it down. I'm just saying.
And so I said, you know what? I haven't gone to a game in so long, but I just want to do it. I have time to myself. I have no responsibilities tomorrow, so let's just go. And I went there, got a ticket, and there's a couple areas that are for accessible seating, and I went there. I enjoyed the first period, took pictures, and then the intermission hit,
Oh Lord.
and
To crush a pickle.
the intermissions show the volume, which was enough during the game to have my watch say, "Hey, this is 93 decibels. This is pretty loud. You should maybe consider putting something in your ears to lower it." I'm like, I can handle this. But when I was out looking for food during the intermission, first of all, just the amount of people stuffed into
Yeah.
the aisleways was just very difficult. And I'm in a wheelchair, so if I have to lift my head up, it hurts. When I was watching the hockey game, I was looking down. It was
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
And then the sound hit, and it just got louder and louder, and I started having a complete
Panic attack.
meltdown.
Yeah.
I was so like I was upset because of the noise. I was upset because I couldn't find a place to um and this is all gonna be relevant to
Yep.
to talk about this
Yep.
for what's coming up here. I couldn't find a place to shut off, and I found one little alley with not alley, sort of a lobby area in between a couple of the sections, and I went to the window, the far corner, and I was like trying to hold myself, trying to put my hands over my head,
Yeah.
and I just fell apart. I just was crying
Oh,
and crying
Maddie.
because it's like I can't even go to a hockey game. I experienced something similar when we tried to take my daughter to the Montreal Jazz Fest when we were in Montreal early in the summer, and I couldn't go like 5 blocks away from it, and it was just that was upsetting. But then this like I can't even go to a hockey, and I just fell apart. And one of the ushers who was responsible for the accessibility section saw me, came up to me, she's like, "What's going on? How can I help you?" And I said, "It's too loud. It's just too loud. I can't think straight. It's too loud." And he said, "Okay, that's I know it can get really loud here. Let me see what I can do for you." They give us ushers these little noise canceling plugs you can put in there. And it doesn't do a lot, but it helps a little bit. So he grabbed that. He said, "You know what? We have a sensory kit. We have a sensory bag that has noise canceling headphones and some fidgets and some other stuff. So
Oh,
let me go get
wow.
that." And there's also a quieter area of the accessible thing that's darker. You can still see
Pink.
the rate, no problem. So he brought me there, and as soon as I put the headphones on, it was tolerable. And I just I fell apart again because this was such an accessibility win that if I had known that, obviously I would have gone there, but I didn't realize they needed it. And this is this is what we need to do as parents. This is what we need to do as autistics. Like sometimes if we know we have challenges with sensory stuff. Christmas is the worst sensory time. I can't go into Walmart during Christmas because of the ding ding ding
Well,
ding 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 and the celebration of
you just
Santa's.
brought it up for me because when I go to the mall, so I'm not a fan of crowds, right? I can handle them, but I'm not, especially when they're crushing crowds. Like my husband watches me now, which is great. And if he sees my shoulders start to go up, like he knows, peace out, like we got to go. I
Yeah.
need my personal space, and I love socializing. I love going to events, but my tolerance for bullshit has dropped significantly in what I'm willing to put up with from a people knocking into me perspective and a noise perspective. I have always had very sensitive hearing. So the advantage of my hearing loss is that it's can be good. But now it causes an imbalance, right? So like I was at a thing last night and I'm trying because it's called, there's a point to this as well. It's called conductive hearing loss. So what that means is my eardrum, yes, the baton does not work. My eardrum has been injured twice and repaired once. It will never, ever function as an eardrum properly ever again. So the information comes in, but it gets muffled. And then by the time it gets to my brain is like, I don't understand because that does not match what's coming in from the other ear. What are you doing to me? And then I can get actually discovered dizzy, and I get a little bit disoriented because it's going wrong. So that's the reason for the hearing aid. I tried one on the other day and it balanced my hearing out. It was crazy. So when it was crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I leaned in and I'm like, is there any chance that you have hearing aids that look like Iron Man? is there is there any chance I can get a custom color job to look like Iron Man or Wonder Woman? I would be happy with either. And she just looks at me and I'm like, oh, dead serious. I'm going to bling the shit out of this. And I'm going to show everybody because I want to normalize hearing loss and I want to normalize support and what have you. what we forget at Christmas time is that in malls and things like that, now we have trees. Now we have 60 million extra lights. Now we have Christmas music and ding-a-lings going on and crushes of people. So noise goes up, smell goes up, because now we have a whole bunch of stuff with cinnamon and chocolate, and we have those stands that have the meats and the cheeses, and we have the stands with the whatever. We have the people spraying perfume everywhere. I wish they would stop doing that. That has driven me like, it's just gross.
Yeah.
Don't spray me. Somebody came at me and I'm like, you hit me with that?
My ears, my nose,
yes,
from the senses. Oh my God.
Crazy. So what we have to remember is it's not just about, Maddie made some very valid points around simple accommodations in the home and understanding that your kid, especially if it's a kid, needs to be a kid at Christmas. But we need to remember that as they age, right? So again, my kids are 23 and 24. I am very, very fortunate that Thomas has never been a challenge in that capacity. Like, praise the Lord and pass the peas. We've dealt with some hyperacuity issues in that if we went into a bathroom in a public place, he had to cover his ears and flush the toilet with his foot. And I'm like, good for you. Like, good for, that's a good problem solving technique. Good for, I mean, you're getting splashed with pee, but that's okay. And he did it for him because I wanted to enable him to problem solve and think it through.
Yeah.
I think what you and I talked about a little while ago was the fact that overwhelm isn't from that one incident at the hockey game. That had been building because you had a lot going on. That had been building.
Oh, yeah.
And you had multiple stressors from a sensory and a physical perspective going on. I mean, that chainsaw in a bar thing, that's a whole nother.
That really was, that was 2 days beforehand.
Right. But I think
I should do a podcast series on the chainsaw.
chainsaw. A guy walks into a bar. No kidding. But we forget that for kids, this starts in school. And the ramp up, the noise, and the ramp up in the crafts and the Christmas hulalis or Diwali, or hopefully Hanukkah, hopefully, Eid and Eid Mubarak and all the other things that are going on during the holiday season.
Yeah.
Add a layer. Yeah. Add a layer of color, add many layers of stimulus. And then they come home and home starts to change.
Yeah.
Right. So whether if you are a Christian and you're celebrating Christmas, I have 2 Christmas trees because we have so many ornaments and my kids have done such a great job on some of them. And a lot of them, we buy an ornament wherever we are as a token. And I'm getting, I mean, one's a 7-foot skinny tree and one's a little tabletop tree. But your house changes because now you've got lights, you've got different smells cooking. You have.
Reminds me that I need to get a menorah this week. Thank you.
I was just about to say, so if you are Jewish and celebrating Hanukkah, you could have the menorah up, dreidels can be coming out, you can have, they do. Different smells. Like I'm trying to think of what's this?
Adam Sandler becomes the requisite thing that you must listen to.
I'm not Jewish, but I do enjoy a Sandler now and again. But all of those things, and then you expect your kid to be able, this was the one that drove me bananas, to sit on a stranger's lap in a noisy, smelly, gross environment and be happy about it. Like, at one other time a year, do we say, hey, could you go sit on that strange man's lap?
The Easter Bunny is the closest second. Yeah. Although you don't usually, when I was a kid, we used to have pictures taken with the Easter Bunny, which I love, by the way, because I love bunnies. I love rabbits, but stuffed. Not real ones. I don't know why.
You got a 6-foot rabbit coming at you, and I'm like, that would be disorienting to anybody because I'd be like,
I like animals that are not skitterish. I like animals that are playful, but when they're on your lap, they're like, or they're like,
that's my
don't
brandy.
touch me, but
yeah. But that's
but rabbits are not really restful beings. They're very skitterish, and I don't know. It's really a sensory thing. It's a sensory thing. It's why I don't like birds. I don't like birds at all in any way, shape, or form. I like them in the sky. I like them on TV. Do not like them anywhere near me.
I like Birds of Prey, and I love
Good movie.
Cardinal. You're crazy. Cardinals and Blue Jays and that kind of thing. That's a long story. But parrots.
Ah, you don't like parrots?
Oh, don't
What the
even.
hell is going on here?
Yeah, don't.
Most birds don't like crackers. Don't you dare give me crackers. Like, I'm telling you this.
Okay,
Aladdin
Iago.
said, oh, we should give the parrot a cracker, but I don't like crackers. I don't like crackers.
Iago, take it down. I'm on it.
Sorry, it was somebody says parrot, I do Yago.
It's all
just
good.
the way
I got the reference. You should be impressed. So back to Maddie's hockey story, which is so perfect because here you are trying to do something nice for yourself, which at this time of year is something that we also try and remember, is that it's a time to be kind to ourselves and others. Because I loved what you said before about January being that new time. And right, we always do that. My husband and I sit down and reflect, and where are we at? Do you still like me? I still like you. All right, we're good to go. Seriously, that's how it goes. Because December, January is our anniversary, because our first date was the Muppets Christmas Carol in 1992.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
But we forget, if you listen to our previous one about media plays a lot in creating stress and anxiety, not only for kids because it's bright and it's colorful and it's fast, and of course the commercials for toys go through the roof. And I mean, whoever invented those Hallmark movies should just be drawn and quartered, but whatever.
Hey, but we would lose most of our movie tourism. We're one of the, every year at least one or two Hallmark or such and such movies are filmed here in Crown Place.
Well, I bet, because it's the perfect little small town. Anyway, we won't go there.
It really is.
If you enjoy them,
Yes.
no judgment. They're not something I will ever get on board with.
I have never seen one.
You are
I don't like Christmas movies generally. Yeah.
Oh, I do. I think while we've hippity scopped like the bunny around, what we're talking about is the influence of our memories on our existing perception of Christmas. We are talking about family expectations and living up to, what our moms and dads did, or what we feel we should be doing. Like, we need to stop shitting on ourselves about Christmas.
Yeah.
We need to remember that it is not about the gift giving and the commercialism, and it should be about helping folks and being part of community, and absolutely have enjoyment. Absolutely like, I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying remember that that's not the primary driver. And this year we were able to, thanks to my daughter's friend, participate in our first Christmas party with her family, her friend's family, and they raise funds and goods and donations for the local women's shelter. And I used to spoil my mom rotten, because she deserved it. She worked hard for us growing up. She was an incredible nana. And so I've committed now that the money I would have spent on her will always from now on go towards a local organization somehow. And if you are considering adding an aspect of community service and giving back to your Christmas festivities, I went to the dollar store. And that sounds chintzy, but it's not. Because if you haven't visited a Dollarama lately, they have all kinds of name brand, high quality product that the shelters and the food banks are crying out for. Don't buy the crap. Like, don't cheap out, because that just irritates people's skin, and they feel.
What would be acceptable to you. Never buy something that wouldn't be acceptable to you.
Bingo.
Right?
That's the thing. Perfect.
Now, I would purchase peanut butter for somebody else, even though I can't have it. But that's where, But seriously,
but you're not going to buy Skipoo peanut butter. You're going to buy Skippy peanut butter.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. It's having been a person who has had to use the food bank, many times in my life. I know the quality of stuff is what people give can be
Questionable.
insulting, really. And you're really thankful for the fact that there's stuff there, but then when you see the things sometimes that are there, the choices, it can feel demeaning. And really, I have seen a change in the last 3-4 years, because so many people of so many different levels have had life changes that they're they're
I
brought
have
to this
empathy
point.
now.
And yeah, but it's like buy stuff that you would give yourself or your kids.
Yep.
And imagine you're living on a budget. What would still be acceptable to you that's affordable?
What would
Okay,
Jesus do?
this 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 is your floor, right?
Sorry.
Preferably buy the stuff that you would normally get, but it's, some people think, well, they should be thankful they're just getting it.
Right.
Oh
Oh,
my
I
God,
hate
no.
that.
It's not about you. It's not about you,
It's about
right? But
elevating others.
imagine it was about you.
Yeah.
What would you want?
Yes.
Do that.
So when I was a Girl Guide leader, we had a Christmas, and I always made sure that our unit had a community project, a holiday project, because we were an agnostic organization. There was no particular, religious affiliation. And so one year we were talking about raising toy donations and all kinds of other stuff. And one young lady, I firmly believe there was an issue there, but that's another story, said, well, I will give the stuff that I don't want anymore, blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay. I said, let's unpack that for a second. I said, I'm not going to ask, but I will bet that there have been times where individuals haven't quite had the Christmas that they had expected for a variety of reasons. And I said, if you are in difficulties, I said, even if you're not, I said, let's just step back for an example. And your next birthday, everything that you get is something that somebody else gave away. How would that make you feel? Well, I wouldn't like that. Okay, well, why wouldn't you like that? Well, because I want what I want. And I said, okay, so why should people who are having difficulties be any different? We want people to feel loved and supported and respected and be given an opportunity to get through their difficult circumstance, knowing that their community supports them. I said, so under no circumstances will we be accepting used items for this particular event, because we want to provide an opportunity for people to feel that love and respect and know that community is supporting them. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be big, but it does have to be thought about, and it does have to be new. Because for some people, even a new pair of socks can bring them to tears. A new pillow can bring them to tears.
Yeah.
The fact that we have individuals in our community to whom a new pillow is a big deal, we need to remember that. At the dollar store. And I recognize folks listening, you might be on a budget, you might be thinking, oh, you're asking me for another. I get that. I do get that. I had an experience the night before which reminded me that I will always be in a position to make more money. And I need to be there for the folks who might not be able to do that. So I filled my cart, filled the cart, and focused on Live Clean brand, which my family uses, Colgate, like name brand hygiene products, name brand, like brush sets and trimmers and all kinds of stuff. And then hats, scarves. And I felt each scarf to make sure that it was the soft, nice, thick scarf. I didn't grab the first one because some of them are scratchy and nasty. And then
they need to be like Charmin.
Pardon me? What did you say?
They need to be like Charmin.
Right. I did. I felt the Charmin.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
But because of the conversation I'd had the night before, which made me appreciate my level of education and whatever, I filled an entire bag full of books and like fun books, workbooks, coloring books, all kinds of things, because leaders are readers and we need to continue to provide that opportunity for all levels of community.
Yep.
And this is a perfect time for our neurodivergent kids to build appreciation and empathy for others who are struggling like they might be.
And the other thing is, it's there you were talking about donations which cost money. There's also donations of time,
Absolutely.
right? Time, this is a time where especially food banks and other charities are like the whole world is desperate for people to help out,
Yep.
desperate for workers, but volunteers, you know, it could be you could drive things and deliver things to people. You could, you could help pack. You could help,
Show up at a
figure
distribution
out.
center. Show up at a food bank.
There's so many opportunities, and so if you're a family that really doesn't have any money to spare, you can find the time instead, and it's just as valuable.
Yep. And we did that
And
as
I mean,
well with our
one of
kids.
the one of the other things that's like the list of things that's important, anything that's will help with people who are on some sort of some sort of allergy based diet, right? They're the things that the food banks have very little of, and it's really well. I'll just use my own experience. Let's just say I could, that normally you could have like 40 things to bring to pick up when you go through the food bank, and 20 of them I have issues with allergies that I need to find alternatives.
Yeah, me too.
I the weeks that the weeks that it's well stocked with the alternatives, that I can go home with maybe 35 things. The
Yep.
weeks that they aren't, I go home with 20. And it's like it's buying things that are that are nut free or soy free or dairy free or wheat free are.
You and I are so much fun to feed because I have the
I
exact
know.
same allergy list. And I go
Yeah, it's
anywhere
like
and I'm like, don't try.
oh
I'll
yeah,
navigate.
it's
It's all good.
it, a loaf of bread right now I think costs $5. Well, a loaf of gluten-free bread is like 7.50 or $8.
It's ridiculous. That's
And
why I'm taking a
I
gluten-free
know.
baking course because I'm like, I'm done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, honestly, the gluten-free flour is only a little bit more expensive than white flour, but it's it's the produced goods. It's all supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
There's much less demand for gluten-free stuff is becoming more mainstream, which is like, thank you. All right, so we get crap gluten-free stuff now instead of the quality gluten-free stuff, but at least we can afford it. Okay, good.
You know what? I'm at
Um,
a point now, and so I hear we need to move towards wrapping up, no pun intended. I think what we're trying to talk about in general, to wrap everything up, we'll go through our points, is consideration. So be
yeah,
considerate of the fact that during the holidays, everywhere changes, and our
yeah,
neurodivergent kids on a variety of levels don't do well with that.
yeah,
And we need
yep,
to do some preparation around that, right? So in November,
yeah,
start reminding our older kids that this is coming. Start reminding individuals that this is coming. We as parents need to be aware for our kids to have a sensory bag in the car so that if we go to
yep,
the mall and kid is struggling, not the kid's fault, like everything has
yeah,
changed. It's all shiny, blinky, new, loud, noisy, smelly. So
yeah,
being considerate of the fact that your kid might need earphones. There's these new earbuds that I've seen that come out that are apparently really good for noise canceling. I can't wear them, but considerate of that. Considerate of the fact that we have individuals in our circle who have intersectionalities of mobility and autism. And if they can't come to you, make effort to go to them and engage and remind them that they're loved and
yeah,
thought about and appreciated. Remembering it's stages before you get to overwhelm. Overwhelm does not hit over a single incident. That is a collaboration of crap that comes together to just finally light somebody's fuse, and they
yeah,
have exhausted their tools to deal with it. This time of year especially, it's going to happen. And
yeah,
let go of perfectionism. Who gives a flying shit if your table is set with Dixie cups and paper plates and mismatched napkins and Iron Man
Yeah.
glasses. It's who's sitting around the table that matters. I don't care if you are serving craft dinner and hot dogs. It is who is sitting around the table and that community and that connection.
Yeah.
That's, quite frankly, I'm not a fan
And
of turkey. So
I love turkey, but it's and for some autistics, and other neurodivergent folks, being at the table may be too much. So have another space for them to
yep,
be. I have two kids who feel that their presence is enough for them. They don't, they'll parallelly do things, but interactivity, it's too much. Have a plan B, which
yep,
is the sensory bag and a place for them to be, but be prepared for plan C, which is leave early. You
yep.
know, like you have no your 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 family, your friends aren't entitled to you, but your kids are to
Say that
you.
again.
Your family, your friends are not entitled to you and your presence. Your responsibility is to your children.
And to
So
yourself.
you can leave. You're there, you try, but what's most important is, as your role as a parent, the younger they are, the more important this role
Mhm.
is to, if your kids are not doing well in a particular environment, and when you've tried a couple things, you've tried some plan B things to
Yeah.
rebalance things, it's okay to leave because your kids
Mental
are
health.
entitled. Yeah, your kids' mental health, your kids' stability, is the priority. And this is something that's really hard, especially for Gen Xers and millennials, because they feel so bound to what the world says about your parents and family, and it's so important. And it is, but your own kids are more important. And if they're struggling, take them home.
I would say
And
I
it will be
and I
the
caution
best
that
thing for all.
because what I'm
This is after trying to
thank
go
you.
through some plan
Yeah,
Bs,
like
right?
yeah.
But this is
So
plan C.
yeah, it's never the go-to to
Yeah,
cave to a kid who's struggling because what you're teaching them is that it is okay to cave and not try. And so
yeah.
you need to empower, and I'm not a fan of that word, but you need to empower your kid to say,
Oh well.
I see you're struggling. I get that. What can we do
Hmm.
about that? Because
Yeah,
this is not going to be the last time that this happens.
yeah,
So let's work. What would you need right now to feel? And if I just want to go, no, that's not an option right now. Do we need to go in
yeah.
quietly somewhere else? Do you want to color? I hate to suggest it. Do you want to watch a video for a few minutes? That is not a solution for the entire night, by the way, folks. Just don't do that. It irritates me.
It's okay to do it. Don't
Not okay. Don't do that.
worry. Yin and yang here.
There is absolutely a time and a place. And if your kid's at the point of overwhelm and a few minutes with Bob the Builder, whatever will make that difference for them to ground and recenter themselves. But we also can't teach them that regressing and retreating into technology is an ongoing solution because that then causes issues later in life. So totally agree that when you are in the moment and they need to, right, they don't have the ability to process at 5 years old what's going on in the overwhelm and
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Totally
It's
agree.
an age base. This is all, the younger
Totally
they
agree.
are, the more that you have to accommodate them. The older they get, hopefully your accommodations will have allowed them some skills to
You need to
adapt.
mature those and
Yeah,
not be. So
yeah.
we had a
But
situation last night with we have a not-for-profit called Socially ASD, and we had our Christmas dinner last night. And we have 17 people that came out, which was great. And some folks I haven't seen in a couple of years, some I see all the time. And one of our board members was really struggling because it was a busy night and they came prepared with their earphones. They actually, at one point, I looked over and they were doing some Shaolin. They stood up at the end of the table and were doing some Shaolin. And I looked at Paulette and I'm like, on board? needs to move around the end of the table because they're actually in a position where they could, whack a server or something like that. But they powered through because they were at the point of leaving, and they powered through and they stayed. And when they left, this individual and my son reconnected, and they had a huge smile on their face because they knew they'd made it through, which was great.
Yeah.
We need to remember that absolutely age appropriate intervention, support, and consideration doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be about people and presence, not presents. And
my presence is present enough.
I would agree with that. And I swear the next time we're going to see you in April, that hair is going up in like a crown of braids. We're going to like queen that shit up. Guys, got the most gorgeous hair. So just consideration and kindness, folks, for ourselves, for our neurodivergent kids who are going to need a variety of supports, for our community where we can teach empathy and consideration and kindness to our neurodivergent folks. Because when we come out of ourselves and we give of ourselves to others, it creates a positive space in us. And that's what the holidays should be about, is a positive space. A positive space in our home where we feel safe and connected to community. A positive space in our mind where we feel we can handle and that those moments of overwhelm are okay and we're prepared for those. A positive space just in our community where we're making a difference and being considerate and kind. And again, whether you are celebrating Christmas or Hanukkah or, Eid Mubarak, like whatever your Diwali, like whatever your thing is around the holiday season, like welcome to let's make that space. Let's make that safe space. And we've been talking for like an hour and a half, so we should probably wrap up.
No, it's actually an hour and 10. It's gotta be an hour and 10. I think we started after 10 after. I have no idea. It's been a really great talk. I mean, we went through some, real memories about childhood and, earlier, my kids' earlier years. It's always been important for me. I guess maybe because I'm autistic that I'm way more attuned to this. But when I take my kids out to any place, I intentionally think, what will it be like, and where can I establish with them the places that they can go when they need, if it gets too much, so that I know that they're safe, they are safe, and know that they can always come back if they're ready for it, or stay where they are. And having the things that they need to do that, this is something that can be really hard to do as parents, the other 11 months of the year. And I in the month of December, when everything gets really busy, I think we just need to be a little bit more intentional with our kids when we're thinking, like, if we got 10 invitations to go places, and when you were younger and you didn't have kids, going 10 places at Christmas may be a fun, exciting thing to do. But each one of these things,
shit out when we had kids. I was like, no.
Yeah, but it's just like, you step back, think of your kids. Can they handle this particular, on a good day, would they be able to handle this particular venue? Yeah. And if the answer is maybe, then maybe consider whether this is a good idea. If the answer is yes, then how do we make sure, that we can handle it if it is too much? It's about intentionality and acknowledging that I'm going to say this again. No one is entitled to your time except your kids when they're young. And no one is entitled to it. And if you know that going to Uncle Jerrycan's Christmas party gets a little wild, maybe don't go there.
Uncle Jerrycan?
Send a gift saying, "All right."
Where did you come from? Ricky, what are we doing? Oh, we're wrapping up on a funky note.
Because there's a little bit full of the sauce,
Oh, that's yeah. No, that's we had Grandpa Whiskey and Uncle Red Wine and Uncle, what was the other one? The other thing that just came to me was
Aunt
social
Sherry.
media. Oh yeah, we
Look
had
at
Aunt
Aunt
Sherry.
Sherry.
Oh yeah, we my dad used to make his own liqueurs, champagne, and wine. We were. It's no wonder my mom ended up with a problem. Plus, she had to deal with him, so there's that. Social media plays a part in this, and this will wrap up on that point. Is that everybody is now wrapped up in making something Instagram worthy and to capture the memory and create the memory and da. Take a step back.
Yeah.
Those folks aren't entitled to your time either. And in the grand scheme of whoever's following you, if you are engaging on social media, it doesn't matter. And you don't need to make it shiny, and you don't need to make it perfect, because that's not what family is all about. Family is about Uncle Jerrycan and Auntie Sherry and enjoying space and playing Cards Against Humanity with your grandma. And like, I love that you did that. Make it about you and what works for you, whether it's a sensory issue, whether it's an economic issue, whether it's a community issue, like whatever it is. The holidays need to be about what works for you, not anybody else's expectations and not anybody else's feeling of entitlement to your space. So just be kind to yourself, be kind to others. That's one of the reasons we have this podcast, is to provide Maddie's perspective as an autistic individual and an autistic parent, and their intersectionalities. Oh, I slipped one out. Sorry. I was going to say I slipped one in, but that kind of.
You thought I was a comedian and my pronouns were he/ha.
Oh, that's a good one. Well done. But to also, as the parent of an autistic individual and what that means. I mean, we sit here and ramble because we've been doing this for a while, and we get the opportunity to talk to so many different people. I've got an idea I need to talk to you about. If you've got comments or suggestions or anything that has worked for you to navigate the holiday season and not turn it into a bitter memory or what have you, would love to hear it. If you have a funny story about how you or your autistic child handled the holiday, because some of the weirdest stuff works really, really well. I'm on board with that. Don't play Cards Against Humanity with your 5-year-old. That might cause confusion.
And you can play Cards Against Disney. There's kids versions of that.
Cards Against Harry Potter, and I was like, ooh, that might show up under my tree. But we're here to build community as well, and we're here to have that conversation and share those stories, and whatever that means for you, like, we're open to that. I mean, if we prove nothing, we are a little bit of salt and spice and sparkle and unicorns and just everything.
Yep. we're a Christmas fruitcake.
I'll take that.
A little bit of nuts, a little bit of sugar, and we're just loafing around here.
We last for years and years and years, and sometimes people don't like us, and they keep us in a cupboard.
But
I like the pink and purple sparkle tree. Like, I like that. I need to get one of those. I have to find one now. Damn it. Okay, Michael.
LED lights. You just get smart LEDs, and you can make them whatever color you want. You can program it.
Don't trump me. Okay.
Amazon.ca.
Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. For
sponsor, not.
Like to sponsor us, let us know.
Yeah.
But thanks, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Whatever holidays mean for you, we wish you the best with them. And thank you, Maddie, for being such a gift.
Thank you. I appreciate that you're not just a bell, but you're the bow of this podcast.
What?
You're the bow. Bell bow.
No.
I thought that was funny, but maybe it was just funny in my head. Oh, you're the ribbon that wraps us up.
There you go. Speaking of wrapping it up.
There you go.
Bye, everybody. Thanks. Thank you for joining us on Across the Desk and our new series, The Autistic Rambler. Please visit spirocareerscanada.ca to learn more about the tools we're building with the autism community, and please visit theautisticrambler.com to learn more about Maddie Dever.